Welcome back. My name is Mark Hemstreet. I'm the CEO for the Antelope Valley Chambers of Commerce, a newly formed entity up here. We're from the Lancaster Chamber and the Palmdale Chamber merged together to make the Antelope Valley Chambers the biggest, the strongest, the oldest, and the best chamber in the Antelope Valley. Welcome to ChamberTalk. Today we have a great program with AVTA, which is the Antelope Valley Transit Authority, which is our group that runs our transit and our buses and our transportation system up here in the Antelope Valley. I have with me James Royal and Kelly Miller, both with AVTA. James is our marketing manager for AVTA. So James, tell me a little bit about yourself and how you got involved with AVTA.
Well, thank you very much, Mark. I'm glad to be here. I have been with AVTA about a year and a half now. My background is actually in the financial industry. I have lived in the Antelope Valley all my life, and I started working for Downey Savings years ago when there was a Downey Savings. I managed one of their branches down in Arcadia, and then eventually got into banking down in LA, working in marketing and banking for a few years, and then got onto the vendor side in the financial industry. And about a year and a half ago, I started with AVTA and just really have the pleasure of working in the valley that I grew up in, working with the people I'm familiar with and doing marketing with the general population here in the valley, which I just absolutely love. I love working with the senior citizens, the veterans, the people who use the AVTA services, and they are thrilled to have our services, and I'm thrilled to just be a part of working with them and helping them understand our services better.
All right, so tell me a little bit about what's going on with AVTA. What new programs you have going on? What's some of the neat things that are happening over there?
Well, December is a really exciting time of the year for AVTA. We have a Stuff a Bus campaign. It's a toy collection campaign that really started back in August and September with organizing it. And if you know AVTA and you know Kelly Miller, you know she probably started in as early as July planning it. But we have been doing toy collections for, I think, more than 25 years with AVTA. The Stuff a Bus toy collections serves local charities, children's charities here in the Antelope Valley. And we've been doing that for about 25 years, working with local sponsors who help us put on the collection events, help us acquire toys to stuff one of our 40-foot all-electric buses. And then we distribute those toys to local children's charities. So December is very much the culmination of all of that work that has been going on. And we're really in the last week now of the collection part of that. And then we'll be working with the charities to help them distribute them, which is very challenging this year with all the COVID guidances to how we need to interact with each other. Distributing toys to the families who need them is a huge challenge. But AVTA has stepped up and they are doing a drive-through grocery giveaway on December 20th, and it's open to the public. Anyone can come and drive through the AVTA property. There'll be a long line of cars going through. You pop your trunk, we'll put food, we'll put toys into your car, and then you drive off, and we're going to be observing all the CDC guidelines that we need to.
Awesome. Yeah, I know that program's been going on for years. I know there's a lot of local organizations that help sponsor it and help work with it. I know that in the past, my Rotary Club, Lancaster West Rotary, has volunteered, and we've been outside of big box retailers with the bus sitting in front of us, and giving flyers out to people as they go into shop and watching them with their kids take the toys and put them on the bus. And that's pretty cool. It's a neat lesson for a lot of kids to learn these days, and I think it's important. So, I mean, I really applaud AVTA taking that initiative and really running with it into the program that it is now. I mean, you're serving hundreds of kids this way, and this is really cool.
Yeah, I think this year it's in the thousands. We're expecting 3,000 to 4,000 people be served on the 12th, or excuse me, on the 20th. On the 20th.
Wow. And that's and I mean, this year you're combining a little bit of a food drive.
Yeah, it is combined with a food drive, and there's a lot of people who are participating in it. In fact, if you'd like to learn more about it, I encourage you to visit the AVTA website at avta.com. There's information there about the Stuff a Bus, about the drive-through grocery giveaway, and all of the generous sponsors that are involved with both of those programs.
That's great. So you can visit the AVTA website, or you can visit avchambers.org and go to our calendar. And on the 20th, you'll see that same flyer over on the AV Chambers website. So take a look at that. It's a great program. Good. So after we get into the first of the 2021 year, what are we looking at for new things going on at AVTA?
Well, but even before that, this coming Monday, we are working on a service change. And just so you know, a service change takes place when AVTA has worked either with the community and finding out needs with the current service that need to be altered, or perhaps we have some new facilities or new equipment that we want to roll out and use, and we have to adjust the current schedule or the current routes. And so the routes that are changing on Monday, on December 14th, are routes 1, 2, 3, and 52. And the changes that are happening this Monday are pretty simple, but they're very powerful. We are opening 2 new transit centers, one in Palmdale and one in Lancaster. The South Valley Transit Center in Palmdale is at 40th and Palmdale Boulevard. I think it's actually about 37th East and Palmdale Boulevard. And then the other is part of an already existing center, but we sort of renamed it. It's the Lancaster Boulevard Transit Center, Boulevard Transit Center, and that's at Jackman and Sierra Highway, right near the boulevard. And both of those have charging capabilities, which is really important for our buses to do the ongoing charging throughout the day. So whereas they used to only be able to charge back at our base or at the Palmdale Transportation Center and the Sergeant Steve Owen Memorial Park Transportation Center, we had to route everything through those 3 places in order to get any sort of charge. And what's really unique about these buses is they can pull over a charging plate, not have to be plugged in, but just over the charging plate. And in a 10-minute break, they can acquire a certain percentage charge that allows them to operate for another few hours. And if all of our buses are able to do that throughout the day, we can obviously use the same buses throughout the day, not having to do a switch out with a bus that then goes back to the base and sits there for the next 3 hours or 4 hours while it charges. So this has really been a lot of effort going into this newest change, and we're really excited about it. So check out again at our website if you use routes 1, 2, 3, or 52, and just see about the slight modification. Mainly it's allowing these buses to go through those 2 transit centers to get a charge, in addition to where they might be going through and getting charges at Palmdale Transportation Center or Sergeant Steve Owen Memorial Park Transportation Center.
Nice. How about some of the other programs that are going on? I know you have a lot of different type programs. I know you have programs for veterans and seniors. Give me a little rundown of what programs are out there for people.
Well, we have so many, but this has been a very odd year with all of the events that have been canceled. Mm-hmm. But AVTA is committed to rolling out programs for seniors, for veterans. And if you're not familiar with the veteran AVTA passes, which allow veterans to ride for free, or you're not familiar with our senior passes that allow our senior citizens to ride for free, then call into our customer service number, get on the phone with one of our customer service reps, and find out about those programs. We are dedicated to giving our seniors and our veterans access to our services for free. And it's something that's just a great program. Our number is area code 661-945-9445. And a customer service rep can give you all the information about those programs.
Nice.
In addition to that, in the past year, while we all have been sort of locked down, we've rolled out a couple of new programs with microtransit. We have a pilot program that we're testing on the east side of our service area, which is routes 50, 51, 52 in the communities of Lake LA, Parablossom, Little Rock, and Sun Village. And in those communities, they are able to reach out to our microtransit service using an app or using just the phone to order an on-demand ride-sharing service. And so this, again, it's a pilot program, but it's a really unique service, that on-demand sort of Uber or Lyft style service is available to those communities rather than having to wait perhaps as long as 2 or 3 hours for the next bus.
Right.
Just because we don't run service out there with the same frequency that we do in town. So check that out. That's on our website as well under the different services. It's on request microtransit rideshare service, and that's definitely one. And another one that we don't really promote to the public because it's managed through our health care providers here in town, but we have a non-emergency medical transport that we launched this year. And we're slowly ramping it up as we work with the healthcare providers here in the Valley. But what we're looking to do with this program is fill that gap between people who have insurance and are provided with a transportation element to their service and ones who don't have insurance and don't have the means to pay for that type of service. And so where there is no money to provide for that service, the healthcare provider can call on AVTA to provide that service. And so we've reached out to the different service providers like Kaiser, AV Hospital, Bart's Altadena, different healthcare providers, even, I'm trying to think of the City of Hope with the cancer treatments. People could call and get a service that would take them there for their treatment. So these are some different, again, innovative, microtransit designed, on-demand type of services that we're really trying to think smarter with the technology available to us in order to improve those transportation services to our valley.
So you talk about going down as far as City. Are you talking about City of Hope up here in the
City
valley?
of Hope here in the Lancaster.
Okay, off of 15th
All of
Street
these
West.
services are within our service area here in Lancaster.
And so your
and Lancaster, Palmdale.
Right. So your service area in the Antelope Valley, because you guys go to unincorporated areas too.
We do.
What is that map? Kind of give me the. I mean, I know you guys go out as far as Edwards Air Force Base.
Well, Edwards, we do go to Edwards, but we go to Edwards on a unique route because Edwards is technically in Kern County.
Right.
And also the Mojave Air and Spaceport that we go to, which is currently suspended because of the COVID guidelines. But yes, when we're running those services, we're running those on specific routes. But our routes are northern LA County, cities of Palmdale and Lancaster, as well as Quartz Hill. As far as Neenach, we service Lake Elizabeth, Leona Valley, Acton, Agua Dulce, and then as I mentioned, those communities on the east side, which are Lake LA, Parablossom, Sun Village, and Little Rock. So that is sort of the AVTA service areas.
Okay. I mean, geographically,
it's a huge area.
That's a lot of square miles.
Yeah, it's a huge area to service.
Area.
And so it's broken into some different areas where you have, rural, where we provide a dial-a-ride type of service, rural where we offer less frequent bus service, and then as you get into the towns, we have more frequent bus service, which is running. Our busiest route is Route 1, which runs back and forth between Palmdale and Lancaster all day, and it's our main artery, and it runs every 15 minutes. And there's a bus, 40-foot or a 60-foot all-electric bus running along Route 1, and that is by far our busiest route. And even now, during these times where ridership's a little low, that one's pretty full.
Right. Once we get our schooling back in force, I know you guys have some programs for students going to both of our Antelope Valley College campuses, and also for Cal State Bakersfield. And what programs do you have going on with them?
Yeah, you're going to stretch my knowledge, Mark.
That's my job.
But we do have some special school hoppers or school routes that are not currently running because the schools aren't running.
Right.
And then we also have which is the route that runs back and forth between the campuses, 8. So we have Route 8 that runs back and forth between the two AVC campuses, Palmdale and Lancaster, and connects those campuses so that students can attend classes on both campuses. We have the transporter, which is currently running, which goes down to connect Palmdale and Lancaster to Santa Clarita area. and especially helps out on some connections with the Metrolink. Unfortunately, right now, Metrolink is running a reduced schedule, and so they don't match up quite as well. But definitely, if you're trying to get somewhere, contact our customer service area. The reps there know our system, and they can put where you're trying to get to into their computer and offer you a solution for getting there. We really want to be there for the residents of the Antelope Valley.
Nice. Talking about people with disabilities. How does AVTA tie in with those people who need transportation?
Well, we do offer dial-a-ride services. It's an AVTA service, and there are you need to sign up and get qualified for it. But if you're a disabled person or one of our senior citizen residents, you can get dial-a-ride services here in town, or even if you were in one of our rural communities, say I mentioned out in Neenok or out in Antelope Acres. You can get dial-a-ride service and get you into town, take care of your business, and ride around on the system here in town, and then use dial-a-ride to get back home. The disabled services specifically, I would check with dial-a-ride and what they have. We have special equipment for all of our right. Vehicles are ADA compliant, allowing people to get to where they need to go, get on the buses that they need to be. We also have special vehicles if they can't get onto one of the buses, or if our buses, which sometimes happens, the areas for the wheelchairs get filled. We have supervisors with special vehicles that can run out and transport someone, and that happens. Oh, wow. Happens often as well.
Wow, it's a lot of service for the community. I think that's really important. I think you provide I think you filled a huge need in our area, and I still think it's underserved. I think or underutilized, I should say. I think our buses could be utilized a lot better, and people could use our the transit system much better than they do currently. Yeah. Take cars off the road. It's just getting people accustomed to using it and finding how simple it is and how easy it is to use. People, they'd rather just jump in their car, I think, sometimes. And
I would say in the past year and a half, I've learned a lot about that. I'd never, other than when I went on vacation, ridden on any of this like transit buses. But better to find out how to use these tools when you don't need them than to have to find out when you do need them. I have a mother who is using dial-a-ride this week for the first time because she's temporarily not driving. And she loves it. She got signed up for dial-a-ride. She called them. She ran her appointments, went to the doctor's office, and it took her back home. And she said, well, that was really nice, but I'll be driving again in a few weeks. And I said, well, what's nice is that you now have that knowledge. So even if it's not dial-a-ride and it's just the local bus system, learn how to use it before you need it. And then it becomes a tool in your toolbox. You don't need the car today. Your husband can take the car to work and you could ride the bus. So it's a great tool. It's a great service for our community.
And talking about the system and the buses, tell me a little bit about. I think we're kind of a leading edge company out here. Our organization that has. We talked a little bit about the 40 and 60 foot electric buses, but just for a few minutes, let's go about what we're buying all electric buses. We're not using diesel anymore.
Well, we do still have a few eco diesel vehicles. They're running only on our commuter runs. So we are heading in the direction of being all electric once we get the electric commuter vehicles up and running. But right now we are all electric for our local service, which those are all BYD buses that are built right here in Lancaster. The dial-a-ride, the microtransit are electric vehicles, green power electric vans. And when I say vans, I think they're 18 to 20 riders. So they're
big.
They're very big, but they're electric. And our vision really is to be an all-electric, sustainable transit organization. So beyond having electric and using electric, we see in the future having, the option to have a solar-powered field where the electric vehicles are charged, during the night from batteries that were filled all day. And if it's one thing we have here in the valley, it's sun.
Plenty of
and
sunlight.
so we charge up those batteries during the day from the sunlight. We charge the buses all night, and then in the day they're ready to run all day long. So that's our vision for that. And it's interesting you bring that up. We are celebrating a milestone, and I'll be announcing it here the first time. I'm working on the press release right now, but we are hitting 4 million electric miles tomorrow.
Wow.
So that's 4 million electric miles on the vehicles that are transporting our residents around in the valley here. And it's pretty exciting.
And at a taxpayer's savings is, I mean,
yes. We could
running
do a podcast on just that, of discussions of like the LCFS credits, which they're basically clean air credits that the I believe it's a state program pays for us to use. So every time we roll miles, we get a credit for that, and then people are purchasing those credits to help their bottom line on their what would be called their carbon footprint.
Right?
Yeah,
right.
And so it's a really interesting topic. But now is a really special time where this technology is new, and because AVTA is one of the first out there to do this, we're kind of leading the way and kind of making it up as we go along. But it's really had amazing results, and I really do credit the board of having the vision of the AVTA board of having the vision of making the desire to go all electric happen.
100%.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's all electric
close.
now. Yeah, we're close to
I mean,
100%, but locally, our local system is 100% electric.
Wow,
pretty amazing.
So not only is it all electric, but you also have Wi-Fi inside all the buses too, right?
We do.
At no
you can
cost.
go in and log in, and there's an ad to click through. But other than that, you have Wi-Fi when you're sitting there waiting for your stop. Don't get distracted. You'll miss and not know where to get off while you play your game on the phone. But it's great.
That's great. So with me today, I have James Royal with the Antelope Valley Transit Authority, and talking about our transit system up here in the Antelope Valley. I'm excited. I've used the bus in the past. I don't use it too often, but I do use it on occasion, and I've always had a good positive experience with it. And I appreciate you coming on Chamber Talk and telling us what's going on. So thank you.
Well, thank you. And listen, we thrive on feedback. So if you're hearing this and you've got an opinion about something about our bus system, give us a call. Give me a call. I'd love to hear about it.
That's great. Thank you once again. Thank you for joining Chamber Talk, the Antelope Valley Chambers of Commerce podcast. Have a great week.